Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marvin Plackett. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. Greetings to all residents, to all staff, to all guests, not on our premises. I know you're not on our premises. To the whole world, anyone who's watching. And a quick shout out to all people that have, all residents, all staff that have cooperated with our new requirement of wearing face masks. For our staff, they are required to wear face masks at all times. Residents, we are asking you to follow suit, asking you to wear a face mask anytime you are outside of your individual unit. And I say a shout out to you if you're cooperating with that, while at the same time still for sure honoring the social distancing requirements. Because some people could become complacent and think, and it could maybe even be subconscious, where you're thinking, okay, I've got a mask, I'm safe, they have a mask, they're safe, I don't need to stay so far apart. That's not true. Absolutely not true. The social distancing of staying at least 6 feet apart, that's ironclad. That's something that we should never violate, that space. Now, of course, sometimes in our nursing homes, staff have to be very close. So then they're using extra precautions. But the point is that that for the average one of us on our campus, we need to always be respecting that 6-foot rule of social distancing. And of course, the other rules of frequent hand washing, of staying within your communities, within your zones. So all those things, and now adding on to that, wearing a mask. When I walked from my office to this location right here, Lee Chapel, I wore a mask. When I walk back, I'm going to be wearing a mask. Okay? So a shout out to all of you that are helping in every way, because that you've helped with this next point, and that is I'm pleased to once again report that there are no confirmed cases of COVID-19 here at Episcopal Homes in any of our 10 communities. No confirmed cases. At Episcopal Church Home, if we go back a few weeks, I've told you about some situations where some residents were in self-quarantine or self-isolate, or they were in isolation because of potential exposure or some potential symptoms while they're being tested. No one at this point, everybody has been tested, and everyone has come back negative. So there are no staff or no residents at Episcopal Church Home that are under any kind of watch. Same thing goes for the gardens. And I had mentioned that at the terrace there were some people that were under self-quarantine. That has been lifted. However, last Friday at the terrace, a married couple, they moved into the terrace, and just out of an abundance of caution, they are going to stick to a 14-day self-quarantine in their apartment. But they have no symptoms. They do not believe they've been exposed, so there's none of those concerns, but it's just out of an abundance of caution that that couple is self-quarantining. So pleased to say that once again, at our campus, here at Episcopal Homes, and at all of our 10 communities, we have no confirmed cases. Someone sent me earlier today some information, some quotes from Viktor Frankl. I'm sure that you are familiar with Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Holocaust, and wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. And a couple of quotes that I would just like to leave you with. The first one: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. How pertinent to today, because we really can't change the fact that COVID has invaded all of our space, general public spaces. It's in every state in the U.S., it's in every country in the world. Actually, I'm not 100% sure that's true. It's in most countries in the world. So we can't change that, but we can challenge ourselves to change ourselves, our view, our attitude, the way we look out for our fellow man and woman. The next quote: suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. Again, quite pertinent to today. Yesterday and the day before, or last Friday, I challenged you to reach out to someone. If you are suffering, okay, because of the lack of social contact that you're used to, because of your inability to go to the public spaces that you used to go to. If you are suffering, if you reach out to someone to try and relieve their suffering, it benefits everybody. So think of someone that would benefit from you reaching out to them. It will help them, it will help you. And now for some words from Phil Rose.
Thank you, Marvin. I want to wish a happy Holy Week to everyone. This week we begin in the Christian tradition, the holiest of weeks, and it is an interesting juxtaposition to have COVID-19 going on when we enter this season. So much to think about, so many things to address and to contemplate. And so during this week, we will be having all of the traditional liturgies, but they will be without people present. The Spiritual Life staff is working on a booklet that will have the lyrics and the prayers for all of the services for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. We will send that to the housing managers, and they will be able to print that off for folks to pick up. And also, if you would like to receive one and don't want to go down to the office or can't, send us an email and we will be glad to email that to you. You could just send it to me at prose@episcopalhomes.org, prose@episcopalhomes.org. The other thing that Marvin didn't mention about the mask wearing is that you really should try to make sure that the mask matches your outfit. I think that that's a really important thing. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Serenity Prayer, at least the first 4 lines of it. And there are more lines to it, and I thought today would be a good day to read the whole thing. The Bishop of Washington, D.C., Mary Ann Buddy, read this on Sunday, and I was reminded of all of the verses of this prayer that I think are particularly salient right now. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. Taking as he did this broken world as it is, not as I would have it be. Trusting that he will make things right if I surrender to God, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with God forever and ever in the next. Amen. I hope you are serene and that you, as Marvin said, find meaning in any of the suffering that you encounter. Be well, and I will see you at 3:30.